Hi friends, this is called putting piso. My brain is creating thoughts and I'm going to present nothing but truth like I usually do, all backed up with evidence. United States is plagued by mental illness that nobody seems to see, or few seems to see. People are waking up, neuroscientists are waking up to this scourge of the brain, which is some be God believe or believe in God, which, schizophrenia, temporal lobe epilepsy, and some malfunctions of the brain are actually no different than the bizarre mythological beliefs at the root of all religions. They're all created in the brain. And actually, God does not exist. Religious people, the psychotics, people with mental problems, they want you to believe that the mind is different than the brain. Not so. The brain creates the mind. We are born, lack of belief, product of coitus, and of course, we emerge tabula rasa with a brain to navigate the planet, lacking belief. I'm going to show some clips connecting all this so you can understand. Because what happens in the United States, religious belief, especially Christianity, is never mentioned. You see all these people doing all this crazy stuff all over the place, and even in Africa and all that, killing witches and doing all that, and Christianity is never mentioned. Keep that in mind. There's some people that believe in UFOs and committing suicide because of the space aliens, and because of Christ, and because of, they call them cults, which is ridiculous. And then Christianity is never mentioned. They believe in a resurrected zombie that's saved with blood. And Mormonism is also the psychosis that believes in Prophet Moroni and angels and demons and the rest of BS. So, keep that in mind. Every time something crazy, people do something really stupid and crazy and deluded, and these people are educated, like in mega churches and all that, they never mention the mental illness of God belief, Christianity. Here are some clips. Let's start with this one.
Cheers of support there from the graduates. The church had blasted Georgetown for inviting Sebelius, not because of the Obama administration's position on abortion, but church leaders instead were angry over Sebelius' support of a law requiring employers, even religious institutions, to provide birth control coverage.
See that? The brain creates the zombie God belief and believing God and all the delusions. When it malfunctions and you grow up, you being taught all this nonsense and bullshit, and you believe that you are that prophet and you are that Messiah. You're a schizophrenic. People don't understand that. Christianity is a mental illness. Here it is.
A 29-year-old patrol officer who suddenly had a revelation that his was the word of God. Conveniently, this realization happened right around the time the Soviet Union, a self-proclaimed nation of atheists, began.
The narrator is infected with psychosis. Russia was not a nation of atheists. He's an imbecile to say that. He doesn't know any history. The son of God, Tsar of Russia, all the people are extremely religious, but extremely ignorant. And they believe to be God. All the Orthodox Christian and all that in Russia. Stalin came around, they were all brought up in Christian homes, infected with Christianity. So they started an atheist nation. They had belief that atheism is lack of belief. See how stupid these guys are? The reason this guy is crazy is a Christian. He believes that he's God. He's a Messiah, like all this schizophrenia, psychotheism, schizophrenic, deluded people believe. Believing God is a mental illness. This is proof.
Of sorts to the New Testament, which details the religion's major tenets and provides answers to some of life's most mundane questions, such as which brand of detergent you should use.
And again, crazy people over 40,000 years ago, people that take entheogens and their brains are malfunctioning and all that, and even recently, they see gods when the brains malfunction, so they write Bibles, they write sacred books, they write all these fairy tales that only stupid people, deluded ignorance today in the 21st century accept as true, like the Bible and Quran and the many other texts. So this guy wrote his Bible. exactly the same as Christian Hitler that wrote Mein Kampf, all based on psychosis, resurrecting something that's saved with blood. Christianity is a mental illness, and the word Christianity never mentioned these people are crazy. Crazy, except when they're pious, they're all the Christian piety. But when they're crazy, because they have full-blown Christ psychosis and Christianity imbecility and delusions, they are never comfortable what they are. They're schizophrenic imbeciles they're stuck in the Middle Ages, and they ought to be put in mental institutions. All Christians, the churches should be shut down, and all these deluded, crazy, ignorant people with defective brains should be put in mental institutions to actually help them join us in the 21st century with a healthy brain. The artist here is correct. He's obviously an atheist, mentally healthy. He wants popsicles, standard statement of fanaticism. Believing God is a mental illness. It's a psychopathy. Christianity is the worst of these virulent neurological disorders of Christ belief. He's very right. There is many religions that accept the resurrected zombie that says with blood and blood is sacred. The Catholic Church during the Eucharist, and the priest is doing elevating the host and all that. You have to believe, if you're a true Catholic, a true Christian, you have to believe that the blood of this resurrected zombie is sacred, and the moment that you take the wine is converted into real blood of the God, and the bread that you receive in converts exactly in the flesh of this God. In the moment that I said these magic words during the Eucharist, transubstantiation is called in the Catholic Church. So actually, you have to believe it. And of course, this guy with the popsicle is very, very smart. People that believe this are schizophrenic. They suffer from a mental illness. We are in the 21st century. The brain is created with this delusion that the infected the brain. So anyway, that is a fact. And also, you will see that what Christ psychosis does, it makes people, they burn people that they are intellectuals, and atheists don't believe in the crazy. They still believe in witches and all that, so they kill people because of their beliefs. They're stuck in the Middle Ages. They're psychopaths. Christians are very sick people. Their brains are disgusting, and they're sick, and they belong in a mental institution, because they can turn into a psychopath burning people alive, like here. That's Christ psychosis for you. And what makes it worse, that really upsets me the most, is that mentally healthy people, in other words, atheists like Dawkins and Harris and Dennett and the rest of the American Society of Atheists, are blind, ignorant imbeciles. They don't understand that the brain is created, and believing God is no different than a mental illness. Schizophrenia and Christianity are the same thing. And that's because of all the problems. And these idiots, ignorant, blind idiots, don't see it. This is the reason I get so upset at them, because they're blind to the facts. They're ignoramuses. They should study neurology. They were not born with belief and all that. The brain is the one that creates the mind, the idiots. And that's because of all these people being killed. They don't say it. They're blind. And of course, they are atheists, but they're blind. They don't study neurology. And Dawkins is one of the, Dawkins and Shermer and all these people they're brilliant and they're very, very intellectual and all that, but they're blind. Either that or have a tunnel vision. They don't see that they don't link believing God to a mental illness. There it is, and they don't see it. That's the problem.
Intolerant of atheists. Historic misunderstanding of what atheism is. For some reason, people have been brought up to believe that atheists have two horns and a tail. I mean, that atheists are the most mistrusted group in America.
He is blind.
Atheists are the most mistrusted group.
He is blind.
It reads, Imagine No Religion. The message is being called Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Freedom from Psychosis.
Association of Atheists and Agnostics.
I think this atheists ought to remove their heads out of their asses because they're extremely ignorant. They should just study neurology. We're evolved mutated primates born out of coitus, born with no belief at all. If you believe in resurrecting zombies and all these religious delusions, schizophrenia-like delusions, and you're educated, because only the children and ignorant have an excuse. If you believe in all that, you have a problem with the brain. And agnostics means no knowledge. Agnostics are ignorant idiots that don't know that are stuck in the planet Earth, or they don't know that are product from coitus. So agnosticism is a stupidity. People that are agnostics are idiot, imbecile, that don't know their atom on the ground. That's what agnosticism is, no knowledge. Atheism is lack of believing God, or crazy, stupid thing like that. So people that doesn't believe in these stupid things and is educated and all that is a healthy person. He has rational thought, everything intact, he can reason in this 21st century and read more than just one book. And that's atheism. And Dawkins doesn't even know what atheism is. He's a stupid man. Very stupid. He should learn neurology, get educated, and make his brain evolve, because he's stuck in the past. Psychotics is people with this psychopath that believe in resurrecting somebody that said with blood. They start killing and burning people. Like you see the clips that I showed you. Well, let's go back in time, 500 years. And the church was burning everybody during the Inquisition. Anyone. They were in control of governments, in control of everything. In control of the education. That's Christianity. Psychosis for you. They're still at it today. In their stupid universities that teach all these garbage lies. They're stuck in the Middle Ages. But here, look at this. Check this out. Watch out, watch out. There comes the Family Research Council and all the fundamentalists, GOP, and rest of Christ psychosis infected imbeciles. This is Christ psychotic heaven. And here's a torture everybody and believe some Jesus. This is Cartagena. What an impossible position. Torture people. And they kill them. And they listen. Christ. Wonderful praise, isn't it? And many of these people, these scientists and scholars, they don't understand that believing God erodes the intellect. It's been stagnated the intellect for 1700 years. It's believing in this Christian crap, believing in resurrecting something that's said with blood, and the rest of the stupid religious beliefs, the schizophrenia-like beliefs. And this has been the problem. It stagnates the brain, stagnates the mind, stagnates the children's brain, the molested children's brains on these churches. These people should be shut down. You know, they're stuck, they're retarded, they're stuck in the past. And this brilliant man, scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson, brilliant man, he understands that. He says it right in his lectures. It's amazing. But Dawkins and the rest of the idiots, so-called atheists, are like that. They're stupid people. They're blind. I don't know where the heck they study, they got their degrees from. And this is the problem. All these brilliant brains were once children, and since they are mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, they could achieve
you find
greatness.
times and places where nations have excelled in one subject or another. There's a birth of that period of where they excel, and then there's a peak, and sometimes it drops off, and sometimes they hang on.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is very polite. He doesn't say it. The erosion of progress is because we have Christianity-infected universities and Christianity-infected teachers. They're like schizophrenic. They're stuck in the Middle Ages. One is Liberty University, so-called university, and then you have Brigham Young. You have all these people that are deluded. They're stupid people believing in all this nonsense and teaching, raping the mind of children with that garbage, keeping them ignorant, and again, erosion of progress. And here, look at this, Liberty University, so-called university.
Walk with Christ. And it's so vital that we understand that prayer is something that God wants us to do all the time.
And thanks to the United States being a Christianity-infected nation, the mental disorder, you know, all these scientists and neuroscientists are forced not to see and link mental illness of God belief to a form of schizophrenia. And hey, read the Scientific American about mental illness. It fits. They don't say Christianity or believe in God, but they, hey, if it flies like a duck, quacks like a duck, and swims like a duck, well, it's a duck. And here it is. But they don't say Christianity. Like, nobody says Christianity. And again, the truth is, the brain is the organ that we create thoughts with. It creates belief in imaginary friend, God, and all that crap when it malfunctions. There is no difference between the bizarre mathematical belief at the root of all religions and also the bizarre mathematical belief of crazy people, like people suffering from epilepsy and
What
schizophrenia.
would happen if the emotions were to run out of control? What effect might an excess of emotion have on the way we interpret the world? Has temporal lobe epilepsy. An electrical storm in his temporal lobes, when a group of neurons starts firing at random, out of sync with the rest of his brain.
Last episode, it was very much like stepping into a Salvador Dali painting. Okay, instantly everything was surreal.
I went running down the street screaming that I was God. And then this guy came out and I was just like pelvic thrust at him and his wife, and I was like, you want to effing bet I ain't God?
Here. What do you think you're doing?
The onset of his seizures triggered overwhelming spiritual feelings.
In the temporal lobes have intense religious auras, intense experience of God visiting them. Sometimes it's a personal God, sometimes it's a more diffuse feeling of being one with the cosmos. Finally, I see what it's all really about, Doctor. I really understand God. I understand my place in the universe.
Biology isn't the only branch of science that theists have a problem with. You're going to have a problem with neuroscience than with the Darwinian concepts involved in evolution.
We can see all the psychosis infected imbeciles and people, you know, suffering from the some-begot psychosis and SchizophreniaTheism, you know, they are having a war with neuroscience. And these imbeciles don't realize that their brains is the one that they're sick, and atheists, you actually tell them, it says, hey, let me take you to a neurology lab and prove it to you that you're sick if you believe in God. I mean, you give him a lobotomy. It will cure Christianity and any God believe. Guaranteed. And atheists don't say that. And neuroscientists don't say that. Grab one of those imbeciles and put them in a neurology lab and operate their brains. They can do all kind of stuff. Let them be alive and, you know, manipulate the brain. They'll be moving the eyes and doing all this crazy stuff. And hey, even cursing. You can manipulate the brain and prove the imbeciles that you know, the brain is the one that creates the mind. Because they believe that the mind comes from God and the brain doesn't create the mind. Well, they are imbeciles. The brain, matter, a bunch of neurons and synapses and all that, product of evolution is the one that creates all these stupid beliefs that they have and their infection. And the people should be in mental institutions. We are in the 21st century, not the 12th. And they hate that when they slap them with the truth. But atheists, mentally healthy atheists like Dawkins and all, they ignore it. They don't take advantage of this fact, so I can slap all these lunatics with the facts. They don't do it. And it's very easy. Just take him to a neurology lab or just give him a drug and then let him act just like a schizophrenics, identical. And film it, and then show it to them, so that they can see how stupid they are. The brains are the ones that create all this zombie God belief. It's a fact.
This place is to experience the presence of God in every one of these places. Mountains.
Taking what you read in the Bible,
Great cathedrals.
and putting it in 3D.
This is what it looks like.
It will absolutely blow your mind.
It's almost something you can't tell about, yet you can experience it.
Rituals originated, you know, 1700 years ago. And people that believe in all this God and crap like that, you know, they are theotarded and they have a problem with their brains, not unlike schizophrenia, temporal epilepsy, and other mental disorders. If you believe in a bizarre mathematical belief of a zombie God that resurrects us with blood, then you are theotarded. You have a problem with the brain. And all these sounds that make people devoted and all that is Gregorian chants. They're very low bass. It's like the womb. When you're a little kid and all the sounds in the womb is very comforting sounds. That's the reason everybody's so attracted to the ceremonies of the Catholic Church and this religion and the Buddhists. chant, oh, they're like that. They don't go like, ee, ee, ee. That's warning. And then you go crazy. So all these pious sounds is like that. And they are all felt in the brain. So we're in the 21st century, not the 12th. So believing God is a mental illness, and Christianity is the word of all of them. Let's keep the brain healthy and expose the mental illness of a God belief for what it is. Pace Dior.